Dr. Hovind, I love your doctoral thesis. I've torn it to pieces with house and gaffle. I can't remember when I last pissed myself laughing. It's a good thing the thesis mopped the piss off the floor.
Welcome to part 40 of this read-through and peer review of Kent Hovind's doctoral dissertation, which was published on wikileaks.org on December the 9th, 2009. If you have not yet seen the previous parts in this series, then I recommend that you go back and see those first, as in this episode I will start off exactly where I left off in the last. In the last episode, Kent told us how many people, many millions of people, have died for their faith in the Bible. In this episode, Kent gets personal, and then he gives us some wisdom of the wise. Kent continues, I'm also sad because those who reject the words of this blessed book are missing the greatest joy known to man. Boobies. What? No? Oh, fellowship with God. They are also missing the real reason and purpose of life. What, Kent? Sorry, I missed that. I was momentarily distracted. Whatever you say. If the words of the time-tested book are true, and they're not, those who reject them and the forgiveness they offer are doomed to face God and give an account of their sin before their Creator. Yes, Kent, you could be there sometime. God will be their judge on that day, whereas he will be my father on that day. Ah, yes, Kent, I can picture that moment.
Kent, I am your father. Join me and together we can rule this galaxy as father and son.
However, Kent, jokes aside, there is something a little more unsettling about your last statement. What you're saying is that on that day, you will be the Son of God. Kent, do you think you're Jesus? I mean, seriously. Because, you see, there's a bit of a problem with that. You see, according to your holy book, Jesus is also God. And if you think you're Jesus, you must therefore also think you're God. Now, Kent, tell me again, what did that talking snake say? I'll let you think about that while we continue with your thesis. This topic is personal for me. It's not just academic. Really, Kent? You know, we couldn't tell. By the way, I think you inserted the word just in that last sentence, where there needn't be one. But whatever. If someone says that the Bible is a myth and is not true, or that the doctrine of evolution is true, and the Genesis account of creation is false, they are attacking the very foundation of my faith. Really, Kent? Then it can't be a very strong foundation then, can it? Jesus said that the creation of Adam and Eve was, quote, the beginning. Open brackets, Matthew 19, verse 4, close brackets. Really, Kent? Are you sure you want to quote that one? Really, Kent? Didn't Jesus' mate John have a different version? And doesn't Genesis 1 start with, in the beginning God created the earth? I thought Adam and Eve came into it about half a page later, but you're the expert. But do carry on, Kent. It would be like saying that my father is a liar. No, Kent, you don't have to worry. That isn't something that I believe that we would ever say to you about your father. However, it is something we'd say to your son. calling Genesis a myth or creation. A myth is like saying slanderous things about my mum or dad or wife or family. Well, Kent, I don't know about your mother and father, but if we said that your wife was a convicted fraudster and that your son lies to children as a career, then it'd hardly be slander now, would it? Do go on. It will be hard for me not to get emotionally involved in this topic. Yes, Kent, because being called out on your bullshit, well, it's an emotional thing now, isn't it? Anyway, at this point, Kent gives us an insight into his mind, and gives a demonstration of the joined-up thinking that goes on in there. He gives us a quotation from a wise man, and he urges that we should heed what it says. Unfortunately, Kent forgets that he spent at least a page and a half bashing this guy several pages previously for being a pantheist and an evolutionist. Kent goes on. We need to remember Aristotle's dictum. Aristotle said, if a document is being questioned, the benefit of the doubt is given to the document itself, not arrogated by the critic to himself. One must listen to the claim of the document under analysis and not assume fraud or error unless the author disqualifies himself by contradictions or known factual inerrancies. Yes, Kent, I can see why you don't necessarily agree with Aristotle. I mean, Kent, you usually put a disclaimer at the... Kent, that statement in a nutshell basically says that you should trust the document in front of you, unless you know that the author is a fraud, the author contradicts himself continuously, or just uses known factual inaccuracies. I mean, Kent, in 7 lines, that one quote alone completely destroys your thesis. But I'll let you carry on. There are basically 2 choices in this argument. Choice number 1 is that the material universe that we see made itself out of nothing for no reason. Then, through a long process of evolution, the different animals and man developed as we see them today. That's not correct, Kent. That must be your strawman argument, because nothing comes out of nothing for no reason. But do go on. Choice number 2 is that there is an infinite, all-powerful, all-wise God who created this universe that we see for some special reasons. Ah, yes, Kent, that must be your choice, because it invokes a mystical, imaginary friend and magic. There are those who try to make a middle ground position called theistic evolution. This says that God created the matter and helped evolution along at critical points like the origin of life and things like that. That is an indefensible position. Yes, Kent, it is. I mean, for instance, it also invokes your magic fairy in the sky. And to make matters worse, it includes things like abiogenesis within evolution. Abiogenesis has absolutely nothing to do with evolution and vice versa. You see, Kent, evolution is a variation in allele frequency within a population over time. Nothing more, nothing less. How about we have an option 3? Evolution by means of natural selection. You know, a bit like Darwin proposed. We'll update it 150 years with all the scientific discoveries we've made during that time. Yes, Kent, that's better. A lot better. Now we're getting somewhere.